really, what I was really pleased with, I know that was quite a big trot to sit to, but actually it didn't fall apart in the contact.
It kind of started to, and then I had to just let my hips go.
Yeah.
And I have this thing that I do where I have to consciously let my hips move. Yeah. And it was kind of down there, and it just got a bit better. It wasn't great, but it was.
But it's doable.
Yeah.
And it is hellish in that saddle. I'm not making excuses for you, but it is bloody difficult because there's no support. So the only support you can get is by moving.
Yeah. But I've got to be able to ride.
Yeah, but that's true of any saddle. It's just it's exaggerated in that one.
Yeah.
But because there's no thigh support and there's no hanging down leg because you can't ride long enough.
The thigh support is never something that I've been keen on, but the hanging down legs thing on this is the issue. The issue is that it's like that.
Yeah, and you can't come round like that with your leg because you're just going out there.
Yeah, because my legs I've got to have my legs this far forward just to get my fucking leg round.
And you've got to ride a hole or two shorter than you really need to get that.
Yeah, because really I want my leg down there.
Yeah.
But I can't because.
And then you haven't got that sort of balancing effect of the weight of your leg hanging down to drop your seat, and
it also makes putting the leg on because my leg's here rather than here.
Yeah.
You know.
But you're not getting bucked off every 5 minutes, so we're grateful for that.
So yeah, that's fine.
We have to.
And hell, if I can ride them in this, then that's grand.
This is with 18 months of saddle fitting, more 2 years probably.
Well, when it was 18 months till I got this one.
Unfortunately, the only saddle in the world that this horse can cope with is one that neither of us could ride in. So we just had to cope with it because he's all right in it.
Adam looked at it and went, Jesus Christ. Oh dear, I see what you mean. That really is an empty saddle because it's like a table.
Well, it's worse when you see it off the horse, actually. Because you can't imagine there'd be a horse that it fits. Because it's so wide, but he is that shape. I think it's really good now because you've got a consistent enough way of going and routine to start working on those things that were always there but were never forefront of the work because they couldn't be. Because
they're never the priority.
You couldn't. It's such a dilemma when you're riding because you can't keep your hand still on something that's not still, and you can't get him still if you're not still. And it's like when you
say now's the time to address that.
When you're on one of those ghastly riding school horses that's doing this on its head, and someone's saying keep your hand still, and you kind of think you can't because it's flinging its head around. But it was really good today because the difference is so clear.
And what I love, one of the great things today was obviously you were here going, no, just keep your hand still.
Yeah.
And I would have probably given, if you weren't there, I'd have just gone, no, this isn't working, like a third of the way around the school.
Yes.
And all I had to do was wait another
Just wait, yeah. And we all do it. I do it a lot. We don't always give it time to work before we change it. So then we.
And that's something I've really learned with you is that you have to do that. And everything we've done, we've just gone no, stick it.
Yeah.
And it will be okay.
Because I've had a bit of a breakthrough. It's quite recently in teaching. Is that it actually isn't up to the horse to tell you that's wrong because he doesn't know. The young horses don't know right from wrong anyway.
Yeah.
Different if you're riding a schoolmaster, but when you're training a young horse, they don't know what's right or wrong. So we had it in a lecture the other week where the horse was basically telling the rider that it couldn't be that round and that was incorrect. So that was her interpretation of the resistance. And I said, well, how does he know that overbent is wrong? He should go where you tell him to go.
Yeah.
The outline the horse is in has got to be the rider's fault. In that you have to have enough control to put the neck where you want, and then be taught where it should be. But if you can't make it too low, you can't make it in the middle. Till you can ride them up there, or down there, or in there, or out there, you can't choose. And it's not up to a young horse to say that's wrong because he didn't know that, and he doesn't know what too fast is.
That was something that Jessie said to me last autumn. Like when she started coming down, she said, he doesn't know. It's your job to tell him. He doesn't know what's right and what's wrong. Just, he's just got to do what you tell him.
Yeah, he knows from you. When you abandon something that's not working, through repetition, of course, without knowing it, we're teaching them to evade.
Well, that was
what we've asked.
Was it Jill you were saying that to with the
with the black horse, just
the
And they're only what we think of as, oh shit, that doesn't work. That's actually inviting the horse to say, that's wrong.
Yeah.
Because he's then in control.
Yeah.
And that was really interesting at Welbeck the other day. There were these horrible horseflies there. But and I've never made use of a horsefly before in a lesson, and it was perfect. Whoever it was, every time she took a contact on her end, just braced and braced and braced. They had this big, thick neck, like this horrible neck, all upside down. So we're in hold, just trying to get her to hold the contact, keep her leg on until he just softened his neck and released the bit, kind of thing. And he wouldn't, and then just talking about he can't because of the shape of his neck, and this is what he's always had trouble with. And as we were talking, landed there, and he went boom to scratch it off, and it was perfect timing. It was while she was explaining that he couldn't do that because his neck shape didn't allow that, and then suddenly his neck was that far behind the vertical, about that long, and albeit momentarily, and it was an absolute eye-opener to her.
Yeah.
That, of course he can do that.
Yeah.
They're designed to do that. And he rubs his knee and stuff, so when she finished, he put his head down and rubbed his knee. Yeah. But she was so sure that because of his confirmation he couldn't do that, what actually was that she wasn't asking him to do that, because she'd already accepted that he couldn't. And from that minute on, she had him on the bit for the rest of the lesson, on and off, but I mean, she stopped accepting that he couldn't.
Yeah.
But then she was quite fun. She said, oh, I just need to get a horsefly, don't I, really? It was just showing me how horses can choose whether they react or not, and we mustn't allow them to make that choice. If we ask them to do it wrong, they should do it wrong, rather than not do it. Yeah. Unless they're 15 and they've been ridden more correctly all their life, that's different. But if we ask them to go too fast, they should go too fast. And if we ask them to be behind the leg, they should be behind the leg. And then eventually, well, just letting them be behind,
not asking us to let.
Well, allowing them, inviting them, and therefore through repetition saying to the horse, what I really want you to do is go this slowly and not listen to my leg. Yeah. And the more I flap, the less you must react. And that's not what we've set out to teach them, but that is what they've heard. Yeah. And it's so often because we've asked less, because we've lost our own self-confidence, that it should work. But actually, when we're riding the youngest, they don't know what working means. They don't know what that aid means. And the only reaction to an aid that's really wrong is no reaction. I think that's with the young horse, the worst reaction they can give you is none at all.
And I've noticed you teach, talking about that quite a lot lately. It's about I don't care what the reaction is, as long as there's a reaction.
Right, and it sort of leads me to think then that if everything that goes wrong is the rider's fault, that rider is really in control. Yeah. Therefore, that rider one day can get it really right because the horse is doing what they're telling them. Yeah. They're telling them wrong, so they're doing it wrong, but at least that means they're in control of what the horse is doing. So then all you've got to do is get them in control of themselves. And that only comes about when you're brave enough to just stick to your guidance and say, no, this is...
Excuse me.
Sometimes I watch some of the really good para riders and think, well, that's a good example. That rider can't give a conventional aid, but that horse gives the reaction to it that we would all want. Yeah. That is not a recognisable canter aid that Lee gives, but the horse canters every time.
Yeah, because the horse knows that as a canter aid.
That is the aid. That's all he can do. So he can't change the aid to suit the situation, which we can. He's not able to bring his right leg further back, so the horse has to learn. So it's always the same, which probably for that horse is easier. Yeah. It's probably clearer.
Whereas we can change the aid, give all sorts of different aids.
And we get more of a muddle actually. Yeah. Now, if you can't move your hands, and the rein contact has been like that from day one, there's no reason a horse would ever resist it, because it's no different. They resist change, don't they? Really, we all do. Humans do too, but horses particularly, when things change, they resist that. And whether it's new hay that they won't eat, or whether it's a new canter aid they don't react to. Good job.
That was lovely, thank you. Incredibly useful.
Another nice video to watch. Loads of waffle, you'll have to fast forward lots of that. And just remember, it wasn't me talking about elbow cellulite.
I'll see you later. Thank you.